Last week I saw a video where this guy looked like he had a bra on and like the rest of his body was normal colored and this part of his body was not. And then I realized that his pecs were a little bit enlarged. I found this because it was tagged in some transgender thing. I don't know if y'all realize this, but a lot of these people who go through these surgeries regret it, almost if not immediately. These surgeries have a lot of medical issues attached to them that these doctors don't tell you. Nobody tells you. They just want to get your consent, kind of like how abortions work, where they just want your consent to do this, and they never give you the underlying damages that come with it. There's a couple videos out there, especially one of a woman who used to be a man, and she got the full surgery, everything done, and she said immediately after she regretted it because of the pure fact that she had a hole right where the should be, and she quite literally stated that it started out where once every 3 months she'd have to take an injection so that it'd continue healing, and then it turned into once every month, then it turned into once every 2 weeks, and then it turned into a weekly thing where every week she has to take a shot on the day, on the dot, on the time, where she has to take a shot to make sure that everything is still healing. The issue with this is that if she misses, and she put it out there, she misses one of her injections, she can die. It'll easily get infected. It'll start bleeding. She'll bleed out. That's what you're looking at, men. When you decide that you want to be a woman and you go for these surgeries and everything, they don't tell you these issues. They don't tell you this stuff. You learn it after the fact. You literally, quite literally, have to be mentally ill to not be able to understand that you can't be in a different body without some repercussions. God created Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve, okay? And it's true. God did create Adam and Steve. He didn't say, hey, this man and this man, let's go. And these people who are peddling junk about like, oh, but the Bible states this, and it's like, okay, so you give us one little thing of it, but did you look at the full picture? Did you look at the whole context? Did you read that entire thing before and after and the quote? You have to understand what scriptures in the Bible are saying before you just peddle junk out there and state, well, this must mean that we can be trans now, and God didn't support that. He doesn't support that. We all know that. Another thing is we got somebody who she goes by the name of Emo on Instagram, and she sits there and she goes, I'm a trans. I identify as a he. She's got a little child, bro. Yeah, that's right. I'm calling you out, bro. Sorry, ma'am, because there is no way that you have any kind of Christian value in you. She peddles that she's a Christian and oh, I'm so holy and God is great and oh, God is good, and then goes around thinking she's a man. When she was asked, why do you identify as trans, she couldn't give an answer. I don't know, because it just feels right. Feeling and being are two very different things. They're not the same thing. I've asked plenty of trans advocates as well, and people who think they're this mystic fairy tale called transgender, why they identify as trans, and they can never give me an answer. Nothing they say ever makes any sense. Because it feels right. I do a lot of things because they feel right, but not all those things are the right thing to do. I say a lot of things that feel right in the moment, but not all the time do I agree with myself even, because it's not always actually right. You are what you were born with. If you think you could suddenly become something you're not, some of these trans activists will like be out there and they will state like, oh well, when I was a kid, I believed I was an astronaut, and it's like that's not the same. You're a child. I've got to be straightforward. I don't mean to be mean, but if our children are our future is bleak, bro. It's extremely bleak. I don't mean to be mean here, but like, if you're basing it off of when you were a child, you weren't raised right. I believed a lot of things when I was younger. I'm like, I'm gonna be a police officer. I'm gonna be this. Uh, I I'm Buzz Lightyear. That was one of my things when I was little. I felt like I was Buzz Lightyear. I even wore a Buzz Lightyear costume one year. You know what I mean? And I believed I was Buzz Lightyear. But then I grew up and I became an adult. When asked, like, what makes you a trans? And you can't answer that, well, because I'm trans, you can't use that word within the answer to the question. What makes you trans? I'm a trans. That's like saying, I like peanut butter, do you swim? Like, what are you talking about? It makes no sense. You ask these people, what is a woman or what is a man? And they can't answer that either. They state that, like, oh, well, it's a social construct. How is it a social construct? How is it constructed? You were born with chromosomes. That's not a social construct. That's what you were born as with. And then you'll bring up like race, right? For example, you bring up race. You can be like, okay, so in that case, are black people just a social construct? And they're like, oh, that's really rude and mean of you to say and so insensitive. I'm like, that's insane. That's insane to me. That's insensitive, but yet when we go to transgender people, it's not insensitive, but everything else is except for that. I'm going to say something. Okay. These people need mental health facilities and institutions. I don't mean like psycho crazy shit, not like that, even though some of them are a little psychotic. I mean, they need help. They need to put their mental health status in check. They need to understand that this stuff that they think they are is just these liberals, these radicals that are pushing for them to believe in something that isn't actually a thing. You cannot possibly look at me, straight in my eyes, straight in my face, and tell me I'm a trans and trans is real. No, it's not. You're pretending. That's what I did as a kid. I pretended. That's what you did as a child. You pretended. But then we grew up. Then we got educated. Then we understood right from wrong. And some of us got very religious, like me. It's a concept that doesn't actually exist within reality. Sad part about it is that liberals will still push it. Like, we'll call you a fascist for calling them out. How am I a fascist? You ask them for the definition of what a fascist is, and then they start bringing up neo-Nazis and Nazi Germany crap, and it's just like, what the f-? You're going to confuse socialism with fascism, and then they blend it in together and make it one whole thing. Now, there is some good socialism. There was democratic socialism at one point, which is what Milton Friedman had put in his book. All right, he had stated that he was a democratic socialist. And at first you see the word socialist, and a lot of these people stopped reading, mainly liberals. They stopped reading, and they're like, he said he's a socialist. But they didn't take in the democratic part. There didn't used to be like this whole split divide, Democrats, Republicans kind of thing. It used to be just a democracy, which is where the word democratic is derivative from. Democratic, democracy, a democratic society, right? But nowadays, you have the left who put a donkey. I mean, you got to think about this. These are the people who are making your children believe that drag queens coming to talk to them in the middle of the day in kindergarten and preschool class is a great idea because they put a donkey as their freaking symbol. You know what we call a donkey? A jackass. You know what you people are? Jackasses. Quite literally in both the slang and literal term. Y'all go around and go at somebody when they say something you don't like. We're elephants. We're bigger than you. Could step on you. Everybody has their own opinions, right? But when you look at the facts, you can't look at somebody like me who's stating these facts and say, we all have our own opinions, so do you. And it's like, it's not opinions, it's facts. I literally spoke to somebody who I thought was my friend on Instagram. Her name is Spooky Cade. Spooky, and then after that, Kayd. Okay? And she is a classic liberal. Classic definition of a libtard. And I mean libtard to the max, bro. To the max. She came at me in my comments about that guy with the, surgery thing. And I had made a funny little clip, like a 30, 45-second clip. Um, and at the end there, I included that, hey, I have new music coming out, promoting my music, right? I do kind of the same stuff that Adam Calhoun or Tom McDonald does. It's a marketing strategy for us. And it's funny. It can be funny. But these libtards come out and they go, and this is what she said, that's from his surgery. And that's from the tape that they had to put around it so it would heal properly. And I responded with, well, he's a dude, not a woman. Why does he need surgery? Why? Couldn't answer that. Messages me these two long ass paragraphs about like everybody has their opinions and everything, and I responded like, it's not opinions, it's facts. You look at this, you can't be something else all of a sudden just magically turn into a woman when you're a man, vice versa. And she brought up, I think the No Kings protest should happen. And I was like, how is Donald Trump a king? How is he a king? Last I checked, he's the president of the United States of America. We haven't had a king since medieval times. What day and age are we living in that y'all think we have a king? And she didn't like my responses. She didn't like the facts and blocked me. So instead of having a good faith debate and argument over this, we had to resort to, oh, let me insult you. I'm going to tell you that everybody has a right to their opinions. I'm not, and she ended it with, I'm not coming after you, just saying, and then blocks me after I respond. Seems like to me, you're one of those radical leftists who just attacked me for what I said, for spewing out the facts. And now you're peddling your negative narrative rhetoric at me. And the moment that I come at you with facts, oh, now that's offensive. So you just block me and you run? What are you doing? You tapped on my shoulder and ran. I'm over here. Why can't you debate in good faith? They will never understand. I'm telling you, bro. Now there are the very small percentage of liberals who turn on their own and go, this isn't right. What are we doing? But then all the rest of their party will attack them for it. There shouldn't be drag queens in classrooms. Why do you need somebody who dresses up like a Barbie doll reading to your little kids, to your children? If God forbid I ever have kids, one day I will be literally homeschooling them. And if I get a wife who's like, no, we should put them in public or private school. No, we're homeschooling them. I don't trust the Department of Education. Charlie was right. This is why the Department of Education needs to go. Because of issues like this. What teacher needs 5 advisors controlling what he or she does and what the students do and don't learn? That's insanity to me. Record labels already do that enough. You have like it's you and then like 5 other songwriters and producers telling you what you can and can't say, what you can and can't write, what you can and can't sing, what you can and can't do on tour. Why do we need that for the Department of Education? Okay, music industry is already up because now we're going to put it in our schools, even on our colleges, on college campuses. It's the most left-wing radical theories that go on. I mean, you got people from like that are like Antifa, and people who are trying to be like, oh, this is satire, and I mean, that we don't need. Come here for an education, not for you to spew your rhetoric. It's a huge revelation that's happening in the United States of America these days, and it needs to end. It needs to stop. People need to quit pretending like they did when they were kids. You are grown up. You are either a grown-ass man or a grown-ass woman. You are a grown-up. Start acting like it, America.